Hello and welcome back to Epic TCG Journey. In today's video we'll be looking at Hisuian Goodra VSTAR deck. If you already didn't, please consider subscribing to the channel for more of these videos. So, Hisuian Goodra VSTAR is 270 HP Dragon type Pokemon, which doesn't have any weakness nor resistance, but it have a very expensive retreat cost. 3 energies in order to retreat it. So you're definitely not going to manually retreat Goodra probably when you play it. But it have really interesting attack and VSTAR power. Rolling Iron can hit for 200 damage with 1 Metal, 1 Water and 1 Colress energy. But during opponent's next turn, this Pokemon will take 80 damage less from attacks after applying weakness and resistance. Most importantly, it does have that Moisture Star ability which says during your turn you might heal all damage from this Pokemon. You can't use more than 1 VSTAR per game. Which basically puts this card in a really interesting spot, because with 270 HP it won't be easy target for the knockouts, and when you have that Rolling Iron attack that reduces damage for 80, once you hit for 200, you're taking 80 damage less. So if your opponent needs to hit you twice in order to knock you out without damage being reducted, imagine what's gonna happen if he needs to hit you 3 times. Then after second time you can just use Moisture Star and heal all of the damage from the Goodra VSTAR, which is really broken. Goodra VSTAR also have some other backup attacking Pokemons like Zamazenta with a Metal Shield, which says that you can use Retaliate if any of your Pokemon was knocked out during your opponent's last turn. This attack does also 120 more damage, so you can hit for 220 also with 1 prize attacker. And also it does have powerful ability which says if this Pokemon has any energy attached to it, it takes 30 damage less from attacks, which means that your opponent needs to hit for 160 or more damage in order to knock it out. Also, this deck plays Radiant Greninja and, for example, Cramorant, who can also attack for free with that lost provision as well. So what is really special about this deck list? So here is the deck list. Also, the fact that you can lock down your opponent abilities with Spiritomb, but also with 2 copies of Pet to the Peak. So with the Pet to the Peak in play, opponents' Pokemons, but also your own Pokemons that have rule blocks will not have abilities, which is really important because you can shut down, for example, Genesect, you can shut down Chin-Pao, you can shut down Arceus VSTAR, you can shut down Luminium, and so on and so on. List is really huge. With the Spiritomb, also you can turn down abilities as well. So Spiritomb is a new card that shuts down basic Pokemon Wii abilities, which is really important as well. Additionally, this deck plays also 2 copies of Sableye, so it can spread some extra damage with the Sableye as well. And the most important thing is that you also have Iono and Roxanne. So even if you are behind your opponent, you can disrupt their hand, put Pet to the Peak, hit with the Goodra, because it can easily be powered up with Mirage Gate, prepare the Sableye to finish the game, and pretty much control your opponent with Iono Roxanne. So that's for the late game. For the even if you get knocked out, if you manage to get Raihan, you can easily set up another Goodra easily. Even Zamazenta, it's not really hard. Raihan, Mirage Gate, and you're already ready to hit and go. Where did I find this deck list? To be honest, this is the deck list from the World Championship 2023 from the Italian player Fabio Spano. So I was looking for a Goodra VSTAR deck list just to see how it looks at this moment, because I literally played when it was released back when it was released like a year ago, and after that I didn't play too much, to be honest. And I see that it didn't change too much since I played. Actually, we'll just throw in Zamazenta, and they added Spiritomb and Jet Energy cards, so nothing too different from the version that I played. The version that I played was a little bit different. I used to play turn 2 Hisuian Goodra, basically with more consistency. I was playing Melanies and more switch options, so I can hit Goodra VSTAR attack turn 2. So I basically played 3 copies of Goodra VSTAR. But I see that this deck list have more control, and this is the reason why I think it's gonna be probably better against some current meta decks, but also verse due to the maybe possible lack of consistency. For the low zone deck, the most important thing is that you need to start first. You need to open the game with Battle VIP Pass with 2 Comfeys with the Radiant Greninja, and the turn 2 you need to have Colress Experiment potentially to start hitting with the Cramorant, and then turn 3 you need really to start attacking with Goodra VSTAR and potentially getting the knockouts. Yeah, so let's just break down for now for that deck introduction. If you're looking for maybe to buy any of these cards, you can also check ccgcastle.com. Link is provided in my video description. They have really good prices, and they always provide the best service as well. I'm gonna play a game with this deck so you can actually see how it works in action. So yeah, if you already didn't, please consider subscribing. I'm just gonna say that once again, it's gonna mean me a lot. So with that, subscribe. You can support the work that I do. All right, let's do some game test and see how the deck works in action. So see you in the game. So Goodra VSTAR. I played with Goodra for quite a long time, to be honest. I need to admit that the deck was pretty good. When the Scarlet and Violet base set wasn't introduced yet. More and more sets was introduced. The Let's Play Goodra VSTAR, so unfortunately. But I still think that this deck actually has some potential, because it have very powerful VSTAR attack, and it also hits for 200, and it can reduce damage done to itself, basically. So, that being said, it definitely has a lot of potential. Arguably, Chin Pao is probably one of the strongest decks in the format, but the lack of consistency breaks that deck. What's gonna happen with this deck post-rotation? Who knows? My assumption is that it's probably gonna be top-tier competitive deck, especially with the Pidgeot, and this is definitely gonna be a playable. I'm quite positive. Okay, let's go with Escape Rope first. Let's see if we can maybe get that Colress Experiment turn 1. Unfortunately, it looks like we cannot. Other than that, I'm gonna attach energy to my Goodra, put down the Path of the Peak so I can lock my opponent, and play that Iono. I don't think I can get enough resources to be able to hit for 110 with the Cramorant with the hand that I got. So I'm just gonna pass the turn for now without Colress experiment at the turn 1. So if you play last box, and if you start second, and if you miss to hit Colress experiment, hit for 110 with the Cramorant, that's a really bad situation for you. I really need to say that. Also, I need to be very cautious. Limiting my bench space with the Comfeys, because that Greninja can snipe 2 Comfeys easily. Oh, as well. Oh, it's my turn. That's it. Switch for my opponent. Good for me, bad for him, obviously. One Sableye, gonna throw that into the booster pile. Comfey to promote him in the active position and use another flower selecting, hopefully for the Colress. No sign of it. Also gonna put another Goodra in play just in case. Unfortunately, I cannot attach energy, but I can hit for 110, which will probably be important later in the game. I'm quite positive that if Goodra's Goodra VSTAR attack hits for 220, probably that would be the best deck. It would then one-hit knockout Pokégear, Chin-Pao, one-hit knockout. It already one-hit knockouts Mew and Genesect, for example, but it would one-hit knockout Arceus V, for example, as well, Duraludon V. So I got lucky here, and I'm able to hit my opponent for 110 damage. Draw first 2 prize cards in the game, which is really important. Luckily for me, I managed to get that Radiant Greninja in play. My hand looks awful. I literally don't have anything. I could simply previously go with the Boss Soldier and knock the Frigidex out. I rather decided to get the 2 prize card knockout eventually, because the play what I'm looking forward will be 200 on Chin-Pao, 200 on other Chin-Pao, and then I will try to finish the game by simply using something Lost Mine and putting counters on both Chin-Paos. So I'm not really concerned about Excalibur, to be honest, not even about Chin-Pao as well. The only thing I need to get is that Goodra VSTAR, so I can start hitting for 200. I already have pretty good hand here. There's a Boss Soldier. Knowing that my opponent only plays possibly 2 Ionos, I don't need to worry too much about being disrupted at this point. Even if he disrupts me, he'll probably gonna just help me out anyways. Okay. Obviously, the worst part of Chin-Pao is the fact that he needs to discard energies in order to attack. So another Chin-Pao, so he can fetch more energy cards and get them into hand. Surprised even here to see maybe cross switch play as well. I mean, I have 9 cards in his hand, which 4 of them are basic energy cards. So 5 cards, there's a chance that he might be able to get that. Let's see if the energies are going on the bench. Does he have cross switch? Yes, he does have cross switch, or maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't. He definitely doesn't, because he attached 2 energies to energy. For the moment, I was thinking that, well, he's attaching energy to the bench, he'll probably have cross switch, he's gonna knock the Goodra out, but luckily that's just not gonna happen. So with that being said, I'm gonna put the Comfey in the active. And the Colress experiment is a top deck. This is literally the best possible top deck. Awesome. Alright, let's put the Greninja down. Let's go with the Colress experiment first. Oh, nice. They already discarded this. Annoying. But I'm not gonna risk. I'm not gonna risk. Not gonna risk. Oh. First things first. Let's go with one Radiant Greninja, so deck as much as possible. I'm also using Choice Belt. It's pretty much useless. Yes and no. Okay, it is how it is. Goodra to be promoted in the active. And I'm going to hit for 200 damage. Even if my opponent managed to knock me out, it's not gonna be a big deal. As long as he don't disrupt my hand. Because I have Super O, so I can easily shuffle back that Goodra VSTAR. And most importantly, I also have 3 copies of Mirage Gate as well. So with 3 Mirage Gates, I really don't need to worry too much. There's a mana this bench stay protected from my Greninja. Okay, so 2 more energy cards being searched. I see 5 energies in the discard pile, 2 on the Chin PAL on the bench, and 2 in his hand. Meaning that he has 9 energy cards in play in total, which puts him in a very comfortable position because he will also do me a favor here, so I'm not gonna even need boss's order play, which is really good. He'll promote another Chin PAL in order to attach at least 6 energy cards, 60 and knock the Goodra out. Once that Goodra is knocked out, how many of... there is another Sableye. There is a boss's order play. Wow. So it turns out that he doesn't have... Turns out that he doesn't have his... Superior Energy Retrieval. Maybe he does. I don't want to use it. I'm really confused at this point. Because he had enough energy cards to knock my Goodra VSTAR out, but probably he didn't want to discard all of them. He probably wants to have that Origin Palkia ready to evolve it into VSTAR. Right now, the only thing that I really need to do... I have 2 different options in mind. So the first route is to knock the Palkia out, which I can do definitely, and which I think is much safer and better. Escape Rope. Okay, gonna put another Comfey into play. And gonna boss that Palkia. And I don't want to put Sableye because it's probably gonna be knocked out by the let's just go with 230 and let's knock the Palkia out. Then again, even Cramorant works for me in the worst possible scenario. Even if I don't get that Sableye into play, I can try to fetch somehow Boss's Order and Cramorant and knock the Chin PAL on the bench for the last 2 prize cards. As expected, he promoted Greninja because it's 1 prize attacking Pokemon, obviously, and it can take the 2 prize card knockout, so he can go down to 1. And this is the reason why I decided to bench down at this specific moment another Comfey, because if he gets rid of 2 Comfeys, and if he potentially bosses order my Greninja and do some shenanigans, or maybe if he Ionos me, I might not be able to, you know, get that Sableye into play. But then again, if I benched Sableye, actually, he would just knock him out. But again, I didn't want to risk that because obviously it's probably not going to disrupt my hand anyways. Yeah, There's a Moonlight Sugar, so that should be okay. The only thing I need to do is basically put the Sableye, attach energy, switch to it, hit for the knockout. Sableye, damage chin pound on the bench. So yeah, this is gonna be a good game. No doubt about that. So I didn't even use Goodra VSTAR ability. I think that probably he made a mistake by not knocking the Goodra VSTAR with energies. Obviously. Okay, let's. Oh, okay. Do I have 7? Oh my gosh! How in the world did I miss that? I was super confident that I have enough cards in the Lost Zone. Oh, luckily I top deck those. That'd be cute. I mean, I could even put my choice belt in Lost Zone, but still I'm short for like 1. Yeah, I mean, worst possible scenario, I didn't retreat, so I can retreat, so even if I misplayed that, which I obviously did, I do have Escape Rope, and I do have Comfey, and also 4 Mirage Gates, and Boss's Order in my hand as well, since the original plan was just to snipe his bench, 20 damage. Let's go with Flower Selecting. Oh, there's even Colress. Super odd to energies back to the deck. Just to be attached. Go. Save on the active. Hunters. Chin PAL. 7 on Mana Feed. Let's put 3 more. So I even took 3 price cards more. I completely forget that I don't have enough resources in my Lost Zones. Definitely here, but that I had more luck than I thought at the end. So yeah, I mean, Goodra VSTAR definitely a good deck. You should definitely try it out if you already didn't. It requires a lot of skill, to be honest. If you're playing Lost Box deck, any sort of Lost Box deck or Lost Zone deck requires, I should say, more practice and more skill than just some other decks that pretty much relies on attaching energies and hitting. Because you really need to take a lot of caution which card you're gonna discard in your discard, which card you're gonna take in your hand, which card you're gonna put in the Lost Zone, because until the end of the game you're not gonna be able to get that card back from the Lost Zone. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you learned something new in this video, make sure to consider subscribing to the channel for more videos, hit the thumbs up, and let me know in the comments below what you think about this VSTAR deck list. So that's it for today's video. We'll see you next time. Till then, have a nice day and goodbye.